Hello everybody, how are you? We're here in Pittsburgh on a overcast or partly cloudy is really the better way to say it, day. And continuing our series on different communities around Pittsburgh, trying to get the word out to people because so many people are excited about these videos I'm doing. It's helping people find out, what's in their own community. And it's not just a Pittsburgh thing. Everywhere you go, people don't know their own city. To this day, I've never been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I lived in Ohio for 10 years. And I lived in Akron for most or a large part of that. So, all right, so this video is going to focus on a neighborhood, possibly a borough, I'm not sure, of Pittsburgh called Murrysville. Now, Murrysville is named after a character on the TV show Mary Tyler Moore named Murray. And I don't know really all of the facts. I'm going to share with you what I know. I learned about this earlier today. I was at a home improvement store buying some wing nuts and started talking to a dude in the line behind me at the self-checkout and telling him about this video series. He said, "You got to talk about Murrysville. It's named after that guy in the TV show Mary Tyler Moore." And so I'm going to share with you what he told me. Now, before it was named Murrysville, it was named something else. And I'll give you the evolution of how they switched it over. What the heck was that? Was it an ambulance? It sounded like a duck. What the heck was that? Yeah, so the town used to be called Gastonia Light. And the reason it was called that was because some people from Gastonia decided to move into what is now Murrysville. And they wanted to restart the town of Gastonia without a lot of the heavy drama, a lot of the heaviness of the area. So that could be politically, economically, but the problem was Gastonia is doing fine. And so to improve on that would have been difficult, and so it didn't work out. Then they realized after 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50 years that they had to make a change. So they said, we need a little more sparkle, a little more swagger in our name, a little more show business. They said, who do we know that's in the business of show? And somebody's cousin worked for a guy that owned a property that the person that taught a kid who went to school with 4 guys from Canada that somehow knew a neighbor that was down the street from the character actor who played Murray on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. So you might think, well, that is a pretty loose connection, but let me tell you something. I've lived in Los Angeles for almost 30 years. That is a very common connection people make. And that being, you've heard of 6 degrees of separation. People will go 38 degrees of separation and claim they're related to somebody famous. And that may be what's going on here. But nonetheless, they decided to go with Murrysville. And part of the legend is, the word on the street is that part of the reason they did that was that it was similar to Monroeville, which is a high-profile, very famous area nearby. So they thought it flowed very nicely. And as Murrysville, they've had several contests on what slogan to name what motto or slogan they should have for the town. And one of the ones that was put up for consideration but was not used was Murrysville Gateway to Monroeville. So they're trying to capitalize. You could call it clout jacking is what you could do, is what you could call it. But they went with the slogan, Murrysville, no longer Gastonia Light. I'm not sure it has the same impact, but that's what they went with. And so now they have a museum in downtown Murrysville dedicated to the character Murray in the show Mary Tyler Moore. Mary Tyler Moore, if you're young and not familiar with it, was a TV show about a young, single, attractive associate or assistant news producer at a TV for the news at a TV station in Minneapolis. And at the time, it was relatively revolutionary in this portrayal of a young single woman making her way and being successful and not necessarily being an attachment to a relationship, right? She was on her own. And of course, now looking back on it, in this day and age, it seems like, well, of course, plenty of women do that. But at the time on TV, it wasn't that common. So Murray was a writer on the show, and he was also her friend and confidant, you could say, in their adventures dealing with the characters on that show. So it's considered by many to be one of the best written shows in television history, and it won many awards that confirm that belief. And of course, Mary Tyler Moore is a big star. But Rhoda came from there. Cloris Leachman came from there. I mean, they've had other roles, of course, but I think you could argue that those two, along with Ed Asner and perhaps even Ted, perhaps even Ted with the news, came from that show. So the point is that here you have a community in Pittsburgh full of bright, young, exciting people that are trying to bring a new spirit to their community by tapping into one of the greatest TV shows in the history of the medium. That to this day, on replays and reruns, gets high viewership and plenty of positive reviews in online blogs, online review sites. It's just a winner, and it will be one of the top programs in TV for a long time, TV history for a long time. So kudos to Murrysville, guys. That's our look at Murrysville, and if you get a chance, stop by there, stop by the museum. Walk through the town. Walk through the town, and you can, custom there is to use lines from the show. So Murray called her Mare, so that's what you want to do. So if you see somebody walking, a woman in town, and you're walking by, you can say, "Don't worry about it, Mare," and they'll laugh. I mean, they will truly laugh because they know what you're doing, and they appreciate you being a part of their town, being a part of their scene, part of their spirit. Yeah, part of the spirit of their town. I don't know how I ended up out here. Look at that, U.S. Steel. Check that out. USS, U.S. Steel. No, I took the long way so I could finish this video with gusto. So guys, come on back for more videos about these great communities in Pittsburgh. You just saw U.S. Steel right there. one of the main backbones of this city for years, still rolling, still going, as is the city itself. It's regrowing, rebirthing, coming back to life with young, vibrant technology and people that are leading Pittsburgh into the next century. They're not waiting around, they're moving fast. And I am here spotlighting all of these cool neighborhoods, boroughs, and towns. Come back for more. We're having lots of fun out here.